What's up, guys and gals? Today I'm going to show you how to find a car or truck that's reliable on Facebook Marketplace. I know how daunting of a task this can be when kind of skimming through the used car section on Facebook, but I'm here to tell you it's not as hard as you think. And I've been buying and selling cars for 2 to 3 years now. So not a lot of time, but enough time to kind of realize what to look for when you're looking through all these listings, because it can be kind of hard. I'm going to go through right here on the screen and just show you kind of what I look for and things to look out for, really. So first thing that we'll do is you want to go to the vehicles section on Marketplace. I like to click on the newly listed first, and then obviously click cars and trucks, and then you can narrow down what you're specifically looking for by year, make, model, mileage, all that jazz. So, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to go through and look for something that's interesting. Depending on, who you want to buy from, whether you want to buy from a dealership or a private party, you can tell who's a dealership and who's usually a private party just by looking at these listings here. So I can tell this is a dealership. Obviously it's got the phone number down there, but another giveaway is the 995 988 995, and sometimes you can't necessarily see just by the pictures, but by the numbers, 744, and you can see the dealership in the background, multiple cars. I usually stay away from those. I like to buy private party because I know dealerships and how they do business, and you can just get a better deal private party. So that's who I buy from, but to each their own. So when I'm looking for a car, I think pictures are important, but a lot of these pictures are not very good. So I kind of just look at the miles here and the price. So depending on your price range, obviously it's going to be a little bit different, but I'm just going to go through here and find something that looks interesting. So we'll just pick something here, like this one here, 2005 Honda Civic. It's got 160,000 miles. It was listed a day ago. It's got a clean title, runs and drives great, brand new tires, 32 miles to the gallon, $4,100. So first things I look at when I'm looking at this listing is obviously, does the car look like it's in good shape? To me, it looks like it's in decent shape. I mean, there might be a little bit of scuff up here on the door. Kind of hard to tell from the picture. Yeah, something right here, but that's not much to me, at least. First thing I look at, next thing I look at after the visual is how long it was posted. Okay, it looks like this one was posted 1 day ago. It's not too long on the marketplace, really. But I still like to ask, has anyone come to look at the car? If anyone's come to look at the car and they haven't bought it, why haven't they bought it? Alright? And I would ask them that question. If anyone's come to look at the car, and why didn't they buy it? Second of all, I look at the mileage. I like to stay, for used cars, I like to stay under 170,000 miles. So this is a good mileage to see, as long as the maintenance on the car has been done properly. What I mean by that is, frequent oil changes, transmission services, timing belt change. Timing belt is a big one. You want to make sure that's been done, because I'm pretty sure those have to be done around the 100,000 mile mark. If it hasn't been done, that's a good sign that it's probably getting close to going out. So you want to make sure, you know, that everything matches up with the mileage. And this car specifically, I would do a little research and look up how long do 2005 Honda Civics with a whatever engine this has in it, say a 4-cylinder engine, how long does that engine last typically? I type that into Google. Another thing you can do is go on Facebook and just look at the 2005 Honda Civics for sale. See how many miles they have. If you see them for 270,000 miles, that's a good sign. That means this probably has a good chance of lasting quite long. And that's kind of the good thing with used cars is you can get a lot of life out of these cars, as long as the maintenance has been done properly and everything checks out okay. Everything sounds good. Next thing I look at is the title. I make sure it has a title first of all. I like to buy clean titles, and I also like to make sure that the title is in their name, because if the title is not in their name, 99% of the times they're just reselling it if it's not in their name. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I personally like to buy from people who have owned the car for 6 months up to, 25 years. The longer they've owned it, the better. That's just who I like to buy from. I like to buy from respectable human beings who are truthful and are not going to just lie to you to make a quick profit. So it has a clean title. Is it in their name? I would ask that. Why is it not in their name? Oh, I'm selling for my grandpa. Is that really truthful? Are they really just selling it for their grandpa? 9 times out of 10, they're not. Okay, so whatever story they tell you, just realize if they lie to you once, they can lie to you again. Okay? I just straight up ask them, so are you just reselling this or what? I just got to that point where I know most of these people on Facebook are just reselling cars for profit, and that's fine. But I just like to know that because I like to buy from people who have owned the car for a decent amount of time and have experienced the car on a daily basis and knows its quirks, its things here and there. So what else do I look at? I like to look at the profile picture. What does this person look like? What does their profile look like? Do they have any other listings? Looks like that's their only listing. Well, go ahead and take a look at the picture. It looks like a little puppy and a young gentleman. Okay, so I'm not completely. So far, it's a good deal. No mechanical problems. I would still ask him, is there any issues with the car? Is there anything, I should know about? I'd also ask, is the price negotiable? Because you don't want to waste time. You don't want to show up, do a visual check, drive the car, everything's good, and then maybe you find something that's not listed in the description, and you're like, well, wait a minute, you didn't tell me about this. So you want to make sure that there's a little wiggle room with the car, with the price. If there's not, then you could have just saved a lot of time there just by asking that question. Okay? And so I think I've covered most of everything that I look at when I'm looking at a car. I mean, this looks like a decent car, for the price, price tag, $4,100. I'd probably try to buy it for $3,500 if everything checks out. Another thing you want to look at is if the tags are still good. If the tags are expired, that's more money that you're going to have to spend at the DMV and DEQ to get those tags updated. Okay? So, these are all things that I would take into account. Another thing that you want to, as a buyer, you want to make sure that your profile is decent looking. Okay, you want to have a decent picture in there. You know, maybe of you smiling, just looking friendly and respectable, just like you would want to see from a seller. You want the same as a buyer, because when I sell cars, I always look at who's coming to look at the car. If I don't necessarily like the way, you know, their picture is or whatever, I don't feel comfortable with it, I don't even entertain the offer. Even if they have cash, I just don't entertain it. I like to deal with people who, you know, don't waste time and are just respectable human beings. So that's another thing that you want to make sure you have is a decent profile picture. And I can just show you mine real quick. Just for an example, you know, there's me and my dog, and we're hiking. And, you know, it's not like I look like I just got out of prison with neck tattoos and face tattoos. And you see that. You do see that a lot. So just be wary of your profile picture, and just know if a seller is not responding to you, it could be because your picture. So I've covered pretty much everything that I look at when looking at a car. That was a pretty good example. Let me find an example that's not so great. All right. Let's see here. Let's actually refresh this. It's Corolla, 2013 Corolla. Just what kind of, picture is this? So here we go. 195,000 miles. It's a Corolla, so I would look up this year in that engine and see how long they typically last for, as long as the transmission too. You want to make sure that the transmission lasts that long too. Clean title, it's good. Yeah, this is a dealership. You can tell just by the price who's selling it. Let's check out this little truck here. I like little mini trucks. I think they're cool. It's 13 hours ago. It's a lot of miles. I wouldn't buy this for $4,500 with that kind of mileage on it. I mean, yeah, it looks cool, depending on your taste, but that's a lot of miles for $4,500, and these don't last, you know, forever. So mileage is a big determining factor. How many owners it has is also a good one to look at. The fewer the owners, the better the car usually. Also, the higher you can sell the car for later down the road. If you buy a one owner car and you're the second owner, that's a good thing to put in your post if you're ever trying to resell the car. Like, look, I'm the second owner. I bought it from the previous owner who was the original owner, and they owned it for 20 something years and took very good care of it. I owned it for a year just to commute back and forth to work. I finally upgraded to, you know, something newer. Here it is. So I also like to look at, you know, what it's like when I'm going to try to resell this in the future. I'm probably not going to keep the car forever, right? So that's another thing I look at is I want to make sure I get it at a decent price so I can, when it comes down the road, I can resell it for that same price that I bought it for or close to it. Even better if you can make a little bit extra. You know, maybe you put some work into it and you can sell it for a little bit more than what you bought it for. So that's kind of the last thing I look at. And I've covered pretty much everything that needs to be covered. If you guys have any questions or comments, obviously just throw them down in the comment section. This is one of my first videos that I've ever done, and I basically just wanted to share my knowledge and experience with buying and selling cars, you know, getting my own dealership license, and just kind of showing you how to find something reliable for yourself to drive for years. And if you have any other tips and tricks that you know of, you know, put them down in the comment section. We're all just trying to help each other out here. So, yeah, hope you liked my video. Thanks for watching.